Star Wars: The Adventures of Serian Kall. The First Steps. Chapter 6. Back inside the governor's chambers, silence filled the air. Not one person managed a word for several long minutes. The horrific sight they had just witnessed still clear as day within their minds. 1,000 thoughts racing all at once, and not a single one lasted to keep hold of. The chamber itself held an intangible chill, a nauseating sensation that wrapped around everyone inside. After much silence, Kaiser finally spoke up, hoping to in the least lower the tension.
At the very least, we have a visual of what our target looks like. It can't be Zahul.
Don't be too sure of that, Padawan, Master Kijé countered. For all we know, that vile killer was a hired gun sent by this Khan Zahul. They use the Force, Serian muttered, replaying the image of the killer lifting and strangling Marun Albus with an invisible grip within his mind. Our killer is a Force wielder, which has made this entire situation a lot more complicated, Jallius added. In his eyes, Serian could see a raging fire that burned with tempered emotions that lay dormant, awaiting the chance to engulf and consume the entire chamber. Jallius turned to Governor Toril, that inferno in his glare as he spoke. Were you going to mention that at any point, Governor? He asked, stepping closer towards Toril, almost confrontationally. I don't think you brought us here to be your precious symbols. Do you want to know what I think? I think you knew about this, and kept it hidden. You wanted us to clean up your mess. Toril stepped closer to Jallius, the two only a few feet apart from each other, their eyes directly locked with each other. I had heard whispers, rumors, speculation of it being possible, but I did not know for sure. That is why I brought you Jedi into this. Jallius did not back down in the slightest, his already towering height appearing as if a Goliath as he drew closer. These things do not work if you are not honest with us. Tell me, what else have you been keeping secret? Nothing that you didn't need to know. Toril snapped back aggressively. How do you think my people would have reacted to even the tiniest theories that a rogue Jedi is responsible for this? Whispers echo from Naboo. People are scared, and I was not willing to risk cataclysm over the most vague of speculations. Jallius got closer to Toril, his words a whisper as ice as the vacuum of space. What you tell us, they don't know. It is no excuse. Right now, we cannot be stifled by conflicts revolving around the past, Master Kijé chimed in aggressively, breaking the two up from their fight. We need to focus on the here and now, and get this assassin in our custody. Our attacker was also looking for the truth of Elena Thorne, Serian brought up, which proves that she may very well be the key for which unlocks this mystery. I agree. You find this case, you find our killer, Jallius added. At that moment, one of Toril's advisors entered back into the main hall of the chamber. Governor, we have successfully tracked the location of the killer's holo transmitter. What is it? Toril asked. The advisor placed his tracker pad on the governor's desk. Level 182, sir.
182?
Alina spoke up, her eyebrows raised with an immediate surprise, as Serian turned to look at her. You know something about there.
Yeah. Albus said something about it when I spoke to him. Something about a warehouse of sorts? At that point, he had been incoherent. I didn't really make any sense of it.
There is an old warehouse on level 182, located in Sector A2.
Then that's where we go,
Kaiser declared. Jallius nodded in agreement. Indeed. Serian, Kaiser, get down there and investigate that warehouse. Report back as soon as you find anything. Yes, Master, Serian said, Bowing to his masters, Kaiser did the same, before the two Jedi made their way out of the chambers and back towards the speeder. All the while, Jallius turned back to Governor Toril. In the meantime, I will be taking this investigation over. I want every file in this chamber pulled out. Everything on Lom Frickett, Khan Zahul, Elena Thorne, all of it. This is my city. I am governor now, and I am the one who hired you. I will give you what I deem necessary, Toril Blom argued. Jallius shook his head, retorting a smirk laid within a grimace. And now that we're aware that our target is a Force user, this investigation has now become a Jedi situation, and therefore our responsibility. So now, you will do as I say, and get me all of those files now. Outside, Serian and Kaiser made their way to the speeder and prepared to enter inside. As they did, they both looked at each other, Serian noticing the clear disturbance that rested upon Kaiser's face. Are you okay?
That's what I was going to ask you.
Yeah, I just...
We were just exposed to some true evil. Whoever we're going to find is a monster of the darkest degree.
I know. I'm worried. I'm not sure how cut out I am for this. I might not be powerful enough to face this.
Well, you won't be alone. I guess what has me is just... How could a Jedi end up so dark? What could make them end up like that?
That's assuming we're dealing with a renegade Jedi in the first place, Serian countered. Kaiser's head cocked slightly.
And what else could we be dealing with?
Anything's possible. Remember the Trade Federation's attack? On Naboo? Serian reminded. After a moment of remembrance, Kaiser lowered her head, her mind drifting back to the days almost a decade ago now, to when rumors had sparked up of how the vaunted Jedi Master Qui-Gon Jinn had battled a Sith Lord and ended up dead days later. Ever since, there had been a strange shift in the Force. Evil had continued to arise in all corners of the galaxy. It had become draining to all of the Jedi, brutalizing them everywhere they seemed to go. Nothing was certain.
Whatever it is, we must push through. We have to find this monster and stop them, no matter what.
Kaiser spoke up once more, perhaps trying to convince herself as much as she was trying to convince her friend. From the doors to the chambers exited Alina Kira, her silent and posed, so as to appear small and unseen. She made her way towards a separate land speeder parked within the landing bay. Alina, you're coming, right? Alina looked up at Serian and merely shook her head.
No, I'm not.
Serian felt an empty gap fill within his stomach, one he couldn't fully decipher. Instinctually, he stepped out of the speeder and approached Alina. We're not out of this yet.
Oh, yes, I am. You saw that video just like all of us. I didn't sign up to go charging up against one of you Jedi sorcerers.
But you did agree to help us. Why?
Why what?
1 minute you held Kaiser and I at blaster point. The next you flipped a coin and helped us talk to Maroon. Why make that choice? Why help us?
I told you, I would help you for the right price.
Alina backed down. Serian shook his head, his expression unrelenting. No, I don't believe that.
Well, better get started, Jedi. You have a long ride for it.
Alina jabbed back. Serian folded his arms in response, posturing himself to appear taller and more in control. He searched his feelings, asking to the Force for answers, only receiving vague conceptions and fading illusions of grandeur in response. You will find the time, and the moment where you find that answer within you. And when it comes, I hope at the very least you'll share it with me. With that, Serian turned on his heel and made his way back to the speeder where Kaiser was waiting. Let's get moving. With a jolt, Kaiser pulled the speeder switch as it began to hover into the air and fly, as the Jedi navigated the controls and lowered the speeder down to a roadway leading to the lower levels. As they rode, Kaiser finally broke the silence.
What is it with you and that mercenary?
Alina?
Since we met her, you've been playing the nice guy, and I'm not so sure I understand why.
Serian looked down defeated, releasing a heavy sigh as he did. I don't know. I guess I thought she could help us, that someone like her could change her ways.
You know we only just met her, right? That she only just left? Besides, who can blame her after watching that horror show? We have no idea what we're up against, and we're Jedi.
I know. I guess I thought she felt different.
Mercenaries are not to be trusted, Serian. Then again, you've always been better at the whole forgiveness thing than me.
Serian nodded, calming himself down and coming back to his sense of clarity.
These things are irrelevant. We have to focus on the here and now.
The two Jedi traveled a lengthy distance down to level 182, only a few city levels above where they had been to interrogate Zahul. Unlike that level, which had been littered by a strange hybridization of grimy filth mixed with raging neon lights, this level was simply dark. Empty. It appeared as if it had been abandoned many years ago. There were no lights, no people to be seen, only empty buildings charred away with rust. From a far-viewing glance, both Serian and Kaiser grew tense, cautious of the danger that could yet approach. Lowering down, they proceeded to sweep the level from a distance, overlooking the desolate terrain and scanning for any buildings of interest, using the speeder's front light to guide their path. After several minutes of scanning, the two Jedi fell upon a series of broken-down buildings tucked far in the back corner of a city section, including an old warehouse. "Land there," Serian ordered, as Kaiser swiftly moved the speeder into the series of buildings and landed just in front of the warehouse. The two Jedi gingerly departed the speeder, holding the hilts of their sabers in hand as they scouted the area. Once in the clear, Serian pulled out his comlink and prepared to send a message. "Master, do you read? We've arrived at the warehouse." "Master?" Serian's words were met with a static crackle on the other end.
Our comms are jammed.
Kaiser spoke up, gripping her saber all the more tightly. "Our killer may still be here."
It's very possible. I just sense cold.
"In that case, be extra careful. We stick together at all times."
You don't have to tell me twice.
Together, the two Jedi slowly made their way inside the warehouse, as Kaiser cut a hole through the door with her lightsaber. Once inside, Kaiser held her saber up as a light, consuming the entire room with a cobalt haze, as Serian stayed close behind her, constantly scanning every area for anyone who may have been lurking in the shadows. Inside this place, the Force stirred. Not as a vicious flame of darkness, one which consumed and overwhelmed all that came in its path. This was a cold venom, silent, still, nauseating, wrapping its coils around their spirits, chilling them to ice. Within the center of the warehouse, Serian and Kaiser found a small pile of items laid across the floor. A piece of paper with some writing placed next to a shovel that had been put next to where someone had already been digging. Serian bent down and grabbed the piece of paper before reading it aloud. "Digging for the truth." Looking down next to the paper, he saw a holo projector all set up. Suddenly, in a moment, the projector began to beep, echoing through the entire warehouse. Serian and Kaiser looked at each other nervously before Kaiser lowered down and activated the holo projector as a fuzzy blue image of a masked Togruta appeared before them.
"Hello, young Jedi. I think it is time for you to learn the truth."
Back within Governor Toral's office, Jallius stood, arms folded behind his back, watching as several tech officers who had since migrated into the chambers now began tinkering with the datapad brought in by the two Padawans, as well as entering into the governor's personal computer, pulling out every possible file that it held. How are those files coming along? They're coming, Master Jedi. Jallius nodded as Governor Torrell spoke up once more. This effort is out of line, Master Jedi. You were hired to do this mission and investigate the murder, nothing more. And that is exactly what I am doing, Governor. Why fear if you have nothing to hide? Jallius countered promptly, his eyes never wavering to look. In the corner of the room, Jallius's eye glanced upon the technician working on the datapad from Zahel's office, noticing that he seemed to be transmitting something from it. Officer, what are you doing there? The technician never even glanced at the Jedi Master, his face focused only on the pad in front of him. Jallius then approached the man sternly. Officer, stand down. The man did not flinch, appearing almost entranced in his state. Officer, Jallius commanded, now standing only a foot away from the technician, as he suddenly twisted his gaze towards the Jedi Master, cocking his head, staring blankly at him before his mouth then twisted into a devious smile. Hello, Jallius Serian. The Jedi Master was quickly taken aback as he quickly put together what was happening. And who may I be speaking to now? All you need to know is that the truth is to be revealed, and judgment will lay claim for all of you. There was a tension that consumed the entire room. Everyone now turned to the twisted agent. And then, in just a flash, the datapad finished uploading, and the technician fell back, his eyes rolling into the back of his head as he shook violently free, collapsing to his knees as his eyes returned normal. Master Jedi, what's happening? Back in the warehouse, the two Padawans stared down at the holographic image of their killer, their hands gripping the hilts of their weapons as Serian fell into a defensive stance. The masked Togruta then slowly dissipated away as her image was slowly replaced by that of a young human woman, short and nimble, with a crown braid wearing a well-tailored simplistic dress.
This is Elena Thor, a reported investigator from Coruscant, top of her class. One fateful day, she came here to Utapau to document the story of how a system independent of the illustrious Republic could thrive as well as it did. In her research, she discovered Frickin's long fortified secret.
The image of Elena's portrait vanished, now replaced by the images of multiple files, all brandishing titles of their own. Project Devastator, Scion's Blade, Darkshear, Project Silencer.
Elena threatened to reveal the truth to the Republic, but Frickus did not like that. He made a call to Maroon Albus, who made a call to Khan Zahul, and together they had her murdered.
The killer's voice echoed through the hollow message as the two Jedi slowly lowered their defenses, unable to make heads or tails of what they were witnessing. Was any of this to be believed? Was the killer trying to throw them off? What other motive would they have for Frickett and Albus's murders? The Jedi's questions were soon silenced, as both Jedi felt an alerting sensation through the Force. What did... In a flash, the building ruptured into a fiery ball of flames, sending both Jedi soaring backwards into the wall opposite to the blast, smashing their bodies against the metal hull as they collapsed into a heap. Serian rolled back, his vision blurry and his ears stung by an endless ringing, as he perceived the roof beginning to creak and screech as it tore apart within the blaze and collapsed down towards them. The last thing Serian saw was the overarching metal shield of roofing falling towards him before everything went dark.